Hi students, welcome in Garuda Engineering classes. Last lecture we had seen something related to the thermal runaway. That thermal runaway is a self-destruction of transistor because of excessive heat. So when we designed transistor, we modified the transistor, we simplified the transistor. After simplifying of transistor, we had seen about the biasing. So why biasing is required? Okay, once we design the biasing can be done with the positive battery. Okay, so that input signal is lifted up for the 50% of V. So for that we require one more extra battery. So a solution of that is what we have to remove that battery and we have to make some different arrangement. So there are three types of biasing, like fixed biasing, that is also called resistor biasing. Second is collector to base biasing, and third biasing is voltage divider biasing. So I will explain which one is better and what is the stability of that afterwards. But after designing biasing, if we consider battery for the simplification, when we give some input signal, we get some output signal, but output is 180-degree phase shifted. But what happens if we use simple type of amplifier? There is a self-destruction because of excessive heat. As I told you, that current of transistor, that is called leakage current of transistor, also depends on minority carriers. So minority carrier depends on temperature. Okay, so temperature increases, minority carrier will increase, and that is also related to the IC, and that IC will increase the heat of transistor, and that action is cumulative action, that action is repetitive action, and which will destroy the transistor. Now in this we will find remedy of that, how to avoid this. So there is a question in exam also, how thermal runaway is avoided, correct? So that can be like that we can see here. Again I want to revise this. So what happens to this? So you know standard IC equation with the leakage current. So IC is equal to beta times IB. This is for common emitter. With leakage current, if I consider 1 plus beta times ICO, this is the leakage current, correct? So this leakage current is negligible. This will be in nanoampere. This will be in microampere. Okay. So as compared to this is negligible. Then also this is sensitive to this. Correct. Now in transistor, what happens because of change in temperature? Suppose environmental temperature changes. That will increase the minority carriers. As I told last time, minority carriers cannot be controlled. Minority carriers are temperature dependent. And you know what happens in majority carriers and what happens in minority carrier. Why minority carriers are more sensitive to the temperature as compared to majority carriers, that I have explained that with the percentage. Okay, so you know this ICO will increase. So I write here that is leakage current ICO will increase. If leakage current increases, that is also directly affected IC. So you know somewhat IC is going to change. It will there is a change, but it will increase. If I say this is increasing, then leakage current will increase and this will increase. Now if we consider transistor, that IC is flowing through what? This IC is flowing through this transistor. Okay, this IC is flowing through this transistor. So this is IC. Okay, so this transistor has got some internal resistance. What is that called? That internal resistance is called R of T, or internal resistance. And what is heat generated? Heat generated across transistor equal to IC square into resistor. Okay, so this is of course with respect to time, correct? More is the time, more heat will be generated, correct? Don't consider this. IC square into R into T. Okay, so this is heat generated. So here what, if increases this, then heat will increase. Heat will increase because heat is directly proportional to what? IC square into R of transistor into time. Correct. So this, because of heat, again temperature increases. So temperature increases, I see this particular thing is what? Cumulative. This is repetitive. Correct? And because of that, heat will increase tremendously, and because of excessive increase in temperature, excessive increase in heat, that transistor will burn out. So without doing anything, automatically a transistor will destroy. That is called self-destruction of transistor. Self-destruction of transistor because of excessive heat is called thermal runaway. Thermal runaway. Okay, so thermal runaway. Now, is there any solution for the thermal runaway? Yes, there is a solution for thermal runaway. So we will see the solution of thermal runaway. As I told, thermal runaway can be removed by connecting emitter resistor. Okay, so I will connect emitter resistor now, and I will show you how thermal runaway is avoided. Okay. Here I insert emitter resistor. How this will take care of thermal runaway, that I will tell you. This is input signal, and here we connect biasing battery. Okay, this is called VB, this is called VI. Okay, this is called RB. Here is emitter resistor connected between emitter and ground. Okay, so here is the emitter, this is base and collector, VCC, RC. Okay, now how this will avoid, or how this will save transistor from self-destruction, that is from thermal runaway. So first I want to tell you something about the transistor. You know, this is taking care of input junction, base to emitter junction. You know, in base to emitter junction is basically diode. Okay, base to emitter junction is basically diode. So you know how diode will conduct. Now you tell me whether diode will conduct or what. For the conduction, this is anode. For the conduction of diode, anode should be 0.7 volt greater than the cathode. This is the requirement of diode. Okay, here also base of the transistor must be 0.7 volt greater than the emitter. Okay, so how, now if I give here 0 volt, that means I ground this. Okay, and if I give here 0.1 volt, if I give 0.1 volt, whether transistor will conduct? No. So what I do, I connect here one battery and I go on varying voltages. I connect here 0.1 volt, whether this will conduct? No. I vary this 0.2, whether it will conduct? No. You know, it will conduct at 0.7 volt. Now, if I make 1 volt, then what will happen? So once transistor turned on, one diode turned on, so it will have 0.7 volt drop, but we are applying 1 volt. So there is a drop of voltage and heavy current starts flowing through this. To avoid that, we have to insert one resistor here. That is called current limiting. Diode cannot be directly connected to the battery because it will short out the battery. Similarly, transistor base to emitter cannot be directly connected with the battery because there must be current limiting resistor. Otherwise, it will short out the battery. Okay. So here I say if this is conducting at 0.7 volt. Now I tell you, now you decide whether it will conduct a what. I connect here 1 volt battery, so it will conduct. Now what I do, now I connect here one more battery of 1 volt. Now tell me whether this will conduct a what. The answer is no, because cathode voltage is 1 volt and anode voltage is also 1 volt. So there is no potential difference. How it will conduct? So what is the voltage required here to conduct? What is the voltage required here to conduct? So voltage required here to conduct is at least 1.7 volt from this side if the battery is connected here of 1 volt. So you can judge this. Anode voltage must be 0.7 volt greater than the cathode voltage. If the cathode is at some voltage, then anode voltage must be 0.7 volt greater than the cathode voltage for the conduction. Okay. So if I increase voltage here, suppose here I give suppose 2 volt, okay, and the transistor is conducting or diode is conducting, and suddenly if I voltage here, apply voltage here, so what will happen? If this is 0, then potential difference is 2 volt. But if I connect here 1 volt, potential difference is 1 volt. So because of reduction of voltage, because of reduction of active anode to cathode voltage, current will decrease. So this current depends on what? This current depends on this voltage. Here also I want to tell you, here I can say, here also whatever current from input side, that is what IB, that also depends on this voltage. What is it? This voltage is emitter voltage, VE. Okay. So I want to explain this here, how thermal runaway is restricted by this RE or it is avoided by RE. See what happens. Again I will start the cycle. As you know, this is temperature. If temperature increases, what about ICO? Yes, ICO will increase. What about IC? Yes, IC is going to increase temporarily. Okay, I make like this. Here I write. If temperature increases, ICO will increase and momentarily IC will increase. Why? Because you know relation. IC is equal to beta times IB plus 1 plus beta times ICO. Okay, as we can say ICO increases, this IC will increase. Now what will happen? Because of increasing IC from this side, what is I emitter current? IB plus IC is equal to emitter current. So here because of IC, increasing IC, here IE will increase. Okay. If IE increases, what about voltage? Voltage VE will increase. See, current through this is increasing. So drop across this will increase. More is the drop, less is the current. I have already explained this thing. Because diode becomes, this base to emitter junction of transistor is basically diode. So diode becomes reverse bias, not completely reverse bias, but conduction of this diode will decrease because it will decrease this potential voltage V base to emitter. V base to emitter is what? VB minus VE. Whatever VB minus V, the VE increases, VBE decreases. So here VBE decreases. Here I write VBE is equal to what? VB, we are not going to change, minus VE. Okay, if VB is stable, somehow suppose this is increasing. If this increases, subtraction increases. So what about this? This will decrease. Okay, because of decreasing VB, IB will decrease. As I told, if the voltage across diode, that is base to emitter, is basically, as I told, diode decreases, current through the diode will decrease. So IB will decrease. And you know what is the relation of IB and IC? Directly proportionally, IB decreases, then IC will decrease. Now if you see here, this is IC and this is also IC. So momentarily, because of temperature, suppose IC if increases momentarily, that is compensated by decreasing IB from input side. So the corrective action is automatically taken from the input side, and this is because of RE. I repeat, the corrective action is taken from input side. This is because of insertion of emitter resistor. What happens if we insert emitter resistor? If IC increases, it will increase. But IC increases, the drop will increase, which will decrease the VBE. This is at the base level, this is at emitter level. What is the gap? This is base to emitter voltage is the gap. Now if IC increases, V increases, V increases. What is the gap? This V increases. What is the gap? Gap decreases. This base to emitter is the gap decreases. If base to emitter voltage decreases, means IB will decrease. If IB decreases, of course IC will decrease, because IC and IB direct relation, because IC is equal to beta times IB. So like this the corrective action taken from input side. So whatever change in output side is corrected from input side. Got it? Whatever change in output is corrected from input side. So change in output, for that the feedback is provided for the input side. Ulta feedback means this increases and gap decreases. So what we can say, negative feedback provided. So this is also called feedback resistor. And what type of feedback? That is negative feedback. This RE provides negative feedback. Negative feedback will decrease the sensitivity of transistor. Negative feedback will decrease the sensitivity of transistor. That only we want to avoid the thermal runaway. So this is also called feedback resistor. Correct? And this is also called feedback type of biasing. Or this is also called self-biasing. Self-biasing. Why self-biasing? Because self-corrective action is taken. Okay, corrective action is taken automatically. We are not doing anything, just connecting resistor will take corrective action. This is also called self-biasing method. This is the fourth. Actually, it is not, we don't consider any biasing circuit, but this is also called self-biasing. So what we can say, thermal runaway is avoided using self-biasing by connecting RE. This also will increase the stability. I will explain. Now you don't know what is the meaning of stability, correct? So I will explain how this emitter resistor is also useful to improve stability of the transistor. Okay, this topic is clear. So in this topic we have covered what is thermal runaway, that was covered last time, but how thermal runaway is avoided by inserting emitter resistor, how it will take the corrective action. Now I will go for the next part. Now I will cover the part is called DC load line. Okay. DC load line. So DC load line. So what is that? That I will explain. First I want to explain the transistor. So I consider transistor with resistor, emitter resistor, or without emitter resistor. Even we can remove this and we can show this for the simplicity. Okay. This current is IC. IC is approximately equal to I. Okay. Now what is voltage here? This is collector, this is emitter, okay, and this is base. Okay. Now, you know what is output equation? Output equation is, here I write output equation, VCC minus ICRC. Okay. What is drop across this? So we don't know. So we can assume this collector to emitter drop minus VCE equal to 0. Okay. So what is the output? Output voltage, this is output. VC is output. Correct? So what is VCE? VCE equal to VCC minus ICRC. Okay. Now if you want to check the current, what is current here? This current IC is equal to, I take IC this side, so it will be minus VCE plus VCC upon RC. Okay. Got it? See, if I want this IC, so IC, if I take this side, here is VCC minus VC, VCC minus VC. I want separate IC. So this will be IC equals to minus 1 by RC VCE, which is output, okay, plus VCC by RC, which is constant. So if you want to see this, if I write this equation 1, so here I can express this y equals to mx plus c. So if you see this, what is the variation of IC? So this is equation of straight line. This is the equation of straight line. Y is equal to mx plus c. What is the slope of the straight line? What is slope of the straight line is negative, and that is dependent on RC. Okay. There are two types of load we are going to connect. One is the DC load and second is AC load. So here I am not applying anything like AC supply or anything or AC input. That time it is called a DC source. DC something. So whenever we don't connect this, that time this behaves like a DC load. And when we connect something AC load like a speaker and all, that is called AC load. So whatever the slope of this, that depends on this RC. Okay, so I will tell you what is that this equation, how I will make this equation. Okay, here I say I consider this equation, okay, for my reference, and I will find the variation of IC. I want to see the variation of IC. Where is it? What happened? Okay. So this is the equation. This is the equation. Okay. So IC equals to 1 by RC VCE plus VCC RC. This is why I got MS equation. I want to find, is it line? Suppose if it is line, then the variable IC is variable and VC is output. That is also variable. VC will drop across transistor is also variable. This is constant. VCC by RC is constant. So there are two variables, Y and X, that is IC and VC. So we have to find how the line is traveling. Okay. So if we see the how line is traveling, in first case if I consider something VC is 0, okay, then what will happen? IC equals to, this will be 0 plus VCC by RC. Okay, so here first we got IC equal to VCC by RC, and second, if we make IC 0, then 0 equals to minus 1 by RC VCE plus VCC by RC. Correct? We want VCE. So if I take this VCE by RC equal to VCC by RC. So what is that? VCE equal to VCC. So we got two extreme ends. Okay. So here we got two extreme ends. So what I do, I draw two extreme ends. This is one is a variable. So here I say one is a variable. Here I consider IC. Okay. Here I consider IC. Second variable I consider VCE. I write here. This is VCE. Second variable I consider IC. So we got two extreme ends. One point we got when VCE is 0. When VCE is 0. VCE is 0. The first point we got, it is traveling, so IC is equal to what? VCC by RC. When VC is 0. So here we got this point. VCC by RC. This is the point we got. Okay. And when IC is 0, VC is equal to VCC. VC is equal to VCC. Okay. So the line will travel through this. So line will travel through this. This is the line. Okay. So what is the slope of this? Slope of the line is negative and this is minus 1 by RC is the slope. Correct? So what does this indicate? This particular thing is called DC load line. Why DC load? Because we use DC resistor. Okay? Resistor which is used for the DC. I will tell you what is AC resistor. Correct? So there are two extreme points. So here what this indicates. This is what we can say output characteristics of transistor. You know output characteristics of transistor. One part is IC and second part is VCE. Okay. What will be the variation of that? You know output characteristics. We know when this is IB equal to 0. When like this is second graph, third graph, like this. Okay, this is output characteristics of transistor. So if we see this here, if we vary IB from input side, transistor, that IB is directly proportional to IC. When IB is equal to 0, that time IC is also 0. That time output, this is output. This is VC is equal to output. Okay, the output will be maximum. हम लोगों ने already देखा है ये चीज. Correct? On the waveform. Suppose input is this way, the output will be exactly here at a 50% level. No, it will be like this. Without biasing, if we see, when input is this, output will be like this. And we get cut off this. Okay. So this already we had seen. So when input is IB 0, that time IC is also 0. That time what is that? VC is equal to VCC, output equal to maximum. And when IC is minimum here, that time IC is minimum, when VC output is 0, that time IB is maximum. So what is that IB? Here it is IC is maximum. Correct? So this particular variation of IC and VCE. See how IC and VCE varies. If IB increases, IC increases, you know. Correct? So if I want to see the graph of both output and input current, transistor is a current amplifier. So IB is proportional to IC, so I will consider variation of IC here. If IC is 0, VC is maximum, output is maximum. You know it is 180-degree phase shifted. Correct? When IC increases, VC decreases like this. When IC is maximum, VC is minimum. See, when IC is maximum, VC is minimum. Correct? So they are inversely proportional like this. This is minimum, that time this is maximum. Okay? Like this. So if you see the operating of this, where is IC and where is VC? Now if I increase this, where is IC and where is VC? So in first case, when IC is 0, that time VC is here. Suppose if I increase IC, then VC will decrease. So that point will be somewhere here. If I increase IC, the VC will decrease. So this point will be here. When I make IC maximum, that time VC will be 0. That point will be here. So the point which specifies the value of IC and VC will vary from this to this. Okay? And that point is called Q point. That is called quiescent point, or it is called operating point of the transistor. Operating point of the transistor is what? When input is not connected. Correct? That time where it is operated. But this operating point is varying from this to this. But actually there is a problem. What will happen? So you know, if we don't apply biasing voltage, then operating point will be here. How? If there is a no biasing voltage, so when input is 0, that time IC is 0, that time this will be maximum. Okay? And what we get? We get only amplification of the positive half cycle. We don't get amplification of negative half cycle. Now when we apply biasing, that time this is 50% shifted up. Got it? So that's why the point will be, this is 50%. So this will decrease 50%. So if we see this, and this is the point where this is the point, or we get this particular point is called Q point. Q point is called operating point. Correct? That I will explain afterwards. But first I want to tell you what is DC load line and how it is presented on output characteristics of transistor. Correct? You know, in transistor, so this particular area is the saturation area. Correct? This particular area, when IB is 0, this area is called cutoff area. Okay? And in this green portion area, this area is called active area. Transistor is always operated in active region. Transistor must be always operated in active region. So here in this particular graph, just I wanted to tell you about the DC load line. How DC load line is drawn. DC load line is drawn by the output equation of the transistor. Okay. So there are two variables, IC and VC. So variation of IC and VC is the DC load line. Why DC load line is negative? Because in the equation also we get -1 by RC. Why it is called DC load line? Because the slope of the line is decided by RC. Variation of IC will be like this. It will give this type of thing. It may be like this. Correct? So variation of RC will be giving you different operating points or different slope. Okay? So next I will explain you about the DC load line and output characteristics. Where should be the or what is the operating point? Okay? So I want to explain. Operating point on DC load line. Okay? Now the transistor, if I draw, This is amplifier, transistor amplifier. Okay, I want to compare this with biasing and without biasing. Okay, so here I draw operating point. This is VCE, output characteristics. This is IC. Okay, so here without biasing, what will happen? Without biasing, when IB is 0, that time IC is 0. So this is graph is VCE and IC. This is view VCE and IC. When IB is 0, IC is 0. This is maximum. IC is 0. That time this is maximum. And what is that? What is that value? What is maximum IC? VCC by RC. Maximum IC is VCC by RC. IC max equal to VCC by RC. It will be somewhere here. Okay. Now, when IB is maximum, that time IC is also maximum. So drop is maximum. What is here will be minimum. Okay. When IC is maximum, this will be minimum. When IB is 0, that time here will be, when IC is 0, that time here it will be full. So if I increase 10%, 20%, so initially where is the operating point? Operating point is what? That is called Q. Q is always value of IC and VCE. Value of IC and VCE is called Q point. Okay. So where is the Q point initially? When this is 0%, we will go step by step. When IB is 0, IC is 0, here will be full. IC is 0, here will be full. What is it? This particular point is here. Now what I do? I increase this to 10%. This is 10%. IC is 10%. Drop is 10%. Remaining this will be 90%. So here it is 10%. Okay. That time it is 90%. So I draw the graph. So this will be your point. If I make this 20%, this will be 20%, drop will be 20%, here will be 80%, this will be 20%, this will be 80%. This is the point. See how the Q point is shifted. This is Q point. This is Q point. How the Q point is shifted? It is shifted up. Q point is shifted up. Now here if I say, if I make this 50%, okay, this will be 50%, drop will be 50%, remaining 50% will be across this. IC will be around 50%. This will be 50%. So this will be your Q point. Okay, like this your Q point will shift up. Got it? So shifting Q point up as we go like this in sine wave, Q point will shift up. Got it? This is the variation of Q point. So if you move this up here, Q point will shift up. If I take this down, Q point will come to down. So what is the problem with this circuit? Problem with this circuit is this will amplify only positive half cycle. So what to do for this? Then we have to use biasing. So we will be adding here, we will be adding one battery. We will be adding one battery. What happened? Okay. We will be adding battery, that is called VB, and you know it is 50%, it is 50% of whatever the input range. So if there is a now again I want to check. Okay, so when this is 0, but already this is 50%, so 50% IV will be flowing. For input 0, 50% IV is flowing, 50% IC will be flowing. So 50% IC, 50% this is your point, okay? And this particular point is when input is 0. So now Q point is shifted up. Q point is at center of the DC load line. How? Because of the biasing, without biasing, Q point was here. With biasing, when input is not there, that time Q point is at center. Now if I increase input, Q point will shift up. If I decrease input, Q point will shift down. So what will be the variation of Q point? Variation of Q point will be up and down like this. So here, what we can say? Variation of what is the variation of IC? Variation of IC will be up and down like this. Correct? So here is no cut in the waveform actually. So this particular Q point, setting of biasing, setting a Q point because of biasing should be at the center of the DC load line. Okay, I will explain afterward. It should be center of the active line. That I will explain how. But here I can say setting biasing means what? Setting biasing means what? Setting biasing means adjusting Q point at the center of the DC load line, so that when input increases it will go up, when input decreases it will come down. Okay, so there is no cut in input wave. We can amplify a positive as well as negative waveform of the input signal. So that is the main task of this. So where should be the Q point? Here I can say Q point should be center of the DC load line, so that there shouldn't be any cut in the input waveform. Okay, now but actually we have to find out where should be the exactly Q point. I consider one more example for this. Okay, see. What is this? This is VCE. Okay, this is IC. And I consider something DC load line. Somewhere here, I consider this DC load line. Okay, like this or somewhere here. Okay, so here what I can say, this is your VCC, because maximum VC is what? It's a VCC. What is maximum IC? IC max is always IC max is equal to VCC by RC. This is IC max. Okay. Now what is the Q point? Q point we select at the center of this. But if we compare this with the characteristics of DC load, characteristics of transistor, then see, I draw characteristic clearly. When there is a no IB from input side, and if we vary VC, you know how the characteristics are drawn. From output side, we vary VC and we check IC. Okay. With no IB, with IB minimum 10 micro, 20 micro, 30 micro, like this we have to go on increasing. When IB is not there, that time some current flows. See, that time also some current flows. Correct? This is negligible. when if from input side IB equals to 0. Okay. Now if I increase IB, again take the experiment. Suppose if I do again with IB equal to 10 micro, that time I get this type of graph. This is for what? IB equals to 10 microampere. Okay. Like this you can increase IB equal to 20 microampere, IB equal to 30 microampere, IB equal to 40 microampere, IB equal to 50 microampere. Okay. So if I consider here IB equal to 60 microampere, this is IB equal to 60 microampere, and I say this is IB max. Okay, I will tell you how to calculate IB max, because IB max is the maximum value where current gets IC gets saturated. That I will tell you how to draw that. When we solve the problem, that I will tell you how to calculate IB min and IB max. IB min is always 0. IB max, that is the decider. Now here what we can say, this is the maximum IB. This here I can say this is the maximum IC actually. Okay, allowable IC, and this is actually it shouldn't fall below in cutoff. This region is cutoff region. So I mark with a different pen. This region is cutoff region. Okay, and here I mark. Okay, I mark this region. This region is saturated region. This region is saturated region. And see, as I told in first or second lecture, I don't know, but transistor should be operated in active region. Transistor shouldn't enter in cutoff region. Cutoff region means off, as I told in amplifier. If the input is below, like if you want, suppose in your bank, you can draw minimum 100 rupees. We can withdraw minimum 100 rupees. But suppose if you demand 10 rupees, then no reaction. What you get output? 0. So that region is cutoff region. And maximum, suppose there is a limit of 1 lakh per day. So from 100 rupees to 1 lakh is an active region. Suppose you want 2 lakhs, then no, that is a saturated region. So 2 lakhs that bank will not satisfy for a day. Suppose there is a restriction on this. So there is a restriction. This is what? Saturation region. This is saturation. We don't have to apply transistor in saturation region, and we don't have to apply transistor in cutoff region. Okay. So we have to apply transistor in active region. This is the green area is active region. Now here I want to tell you, what is this? This is actually Q max. Maximum allowable Q, maximum allowable value of IC and VCE. What is this? It shouldn't enter into this region. This is, I say, Q min. Okay. Where will be the Q point? Real Q point must be Q max minus Q min divided by 2. This is what average or center of the active region. So center of the active region somewhere here. Okay. This is your operating point. This is your real Q or Q biasing. Okay, QB, operating point, QB. This particular point is called operating point. Okay, or bias point. Correct? Or it is also called quiescent value. Correct? So where should be the Q? Q should be at center. Previously what I was telling. Q must be at the center of DC load line. But that statement was wrong. New statement I want to make. The Q should be center of active region, because our maximum Q should shift here and minimum till here. So here if you want to draw the line here, then it shouldn't enter into the saturation and it shouldn't enter into the cutoff. So below this is not allowed. Above this is also not allowed. This is restricted area, saturation area. This is cutoff area. So Q should be in active region only. So what is this IB? What is this IB? Is IBQ. This is called IB quiescent. What is an IC? This IC is called IC quiescent. What is this VC? VC is called VCE quiescent. Okay. So what is our idea? We have to maintain IBQ, ICQ at center of active region. Now, thing is what? When everything is settled, what is Q point? Suppose if I say, what is Q point? When there is a no input, battery will take the Q point at the center. Value of IC and VC without application of input is called Q point. I repeat. Value of IC and VC without any input. I'm not telling without biasing. Without any input is called operating point. Operating point. To express anything in a classroom, what will be the operating point? Before delivering my lecture, everything should be operated properly. There should be proper benches, there should be whiteboard, there should be fan, there should be AC, sitting arrangement, everything proper, cleanliness, silence. This is the operating condition for the lecture. How operating condition is calculated or determined? Operating condition is always decided by, it is calculated, it is found without input, without taking lecture. Before taking lecture, I should find what is the operating point. So before applying input to the transistor, this should be the operating point. Okay. Now, by any means, suppose there is a change in operating point. Okay. Like suppose if I am taking lecture, by any means, light goes off. Something happens. Somebody is knocking. Then what is the disturbances on the operation? That we have to find out. Okay. Here also, if the operating point is decided at a center, by any means, if it is shifted up, by any means it is shifted up. I will tell you how it will shift up. What will happen? This will enter into this. So the waveform will cut in this region. Waveform will enter into the saturation region and that is not allowed. It will cut. If it is shifted down, then this waveform, positive waveform is correct. But what about negative waveform? Negative waveform we get cut in negative waveform. Correct? So therefore, shifting of operating point is not allowed. Operating point must be at the center of active region. So there is a question in exam. What will happen if the operating point will shift up or down? If operating point will shift up, waveform or transistor will enter into the saturation and we don't get proper waveform. Here, if operating point will shifted down, then output will or transistor will enter into the cutoff region and we don't get proper output. For proper output, for faithful output, Q point should be stable. For proper output, Q point should be stable. That is called stability. So in the next lecture, I will explain you what is stability, how it is calculated, why stability of the transistor must be high, and how it is achieved. Okay, till then, bye.